Good morning. It's July 19 and this garden is growing like crazy. All kinds of things are coming, almost ready. And I'm going to talk about a couple different things this morning, but let's see. This is a kind of an experiment. These are beans that you could eat as green beans, but I'm going to try to let them mature more and use them as dry beans. Just kind of like, like pinto beans or black beans or something like that. They get nice inside. These are kind of zucchini called 8-ball. I like them better than the traditional zucchini. So that one's gonna soon be ready to pick. I picked the yellow summer squash already, so those are ready. And I'm gonna pick a cabbage this morning, our first cabbage. These aren't sometimes in Alaska you can grow really huge cabbages. These are a smaller kind. And one thing that's nice is it appears that this little thing worked because there's no worms in this. Often I would see cutworms in these cabbages. But these are just really tasty, really nice, smaller cabbage. So,
What brand?
I don't know. I think these were from Johnny's, and I think they're a storage cabbage that matures a little bit later. But I can't remember for sure. I'm going to set that there for now. Carrots look good. There's a few tomatoes in there. I haven't picked any yet, but usually for me with these tomatoes, I pick them green at the very end before they're about to freeze. Not a lot of them turn red, but there are a couple in there that'll turn red.
Have you been happy with this so far?
Oh, totally. Because I don't have to water. I don't have to weed. I really don't go in there except to pick. I've watered it a couple times, but we've had big cucumbers out of there already, and I usually get enough to pickle make some bread and butter pickles. So yeah, it works great. I love it. I planted some lettuce here because my lettuce didn't come up real well, and then these are turnips for storage. They say to plant 1st of July, so they mature a little bit later. I haven't actually figured out, this is some type of either winter squash or pumpkin, and all the squash plants look the same, and I don't label things real well, so it's kind of a mystery plant, but it looks like it's gonna get some good stuff on it. Green beans are blooming. They look really good. We've been picking a lot of greens from down there. Swiss chard we've been eating every day. Cilantro. And then I harvested some of the turnip greens and cooked them, and I froze them in little packets.
Oh, let's go see them. I can't see it with the video.
Okay. This broccoli is almost ready to pick. It's not a real big head, but then this kind will have little heads all around later on. Joanna's real excited about her flowers, and her sunflowers look beautiful.
The delphiniums are amazing.
The delphinium, look, they're taller than me. Beautiful. The peas are blooming. These are getting, these are eat the whole pod on these peas, and they're just coming on.
What's this stuff right here?
That's Chinese cabbage, so it'll get a nice head on it, and I really like Chinese cabbage. It's weird, the things your parents force you to eat that you don't like when you're young, you grow up for some reason to like when you're older, but we always had to eat Chinese cabbage and peanut butter, and no, I like it. These are kohlrabi and turnips and rutabagas, kind of all mixed together, root crops. These red beets don't look super great. This is the Swiss chard we've been eating. I just pinch off the outer leaves, and then it keeps growing from the middle. And then these are the turnip greens I harvested. I cut all these. You can see I cut them back pretty hard, and like I say, I cooked them up and froze them for like frozen spinach type. But yeah, they'll be real good. There's a little bit of lettuce that came up. Like I said, didn't come up real well. Red beets, cilantro.
Didn't you have red beets down there too?
Yeah.
So these are doing much better.
These are doing much better. I don't know if it's the soil or what, because I've treated them the same. The cilantro, once it gets kind of feathery like this, it's too strong, but these leaves down here are nice.
Are they ever good?
Yeah.
So the top, feathery, no good. The bigger leaves, the better.
Yeah, the bottom ones. They're good for just a short time, it seems like, and then they kind of get strong. I let them go to seed. You can also harvest the seed, which is coriander, and it's a nice spice. Or I just let them go to seed, and they come up the next year volunteer, so that's kind of fun. These green beans look like we're really going to have a good crop. They're just coming on, but they look real happy there. And more Swiss chard. You can see we've been cutting it back and eating that.
Is there a reason why you put them in different spots?
No. I think the only reason was I didn't have it planned out very well, so I was like, oh, what else do I need to plant? Oh, I'll put more red beets. I'll put more Swiss chard. It wasn't...
Strawberries, total failure.
Yeah.
Are you going to give up on them?
Yeah, I'm going to plow these up. I don't... Like, this is... all the bigger they get.
Oh.
For me, you know, for some reason.
Well, they look pretty. And then the rhubarb and the lilies and the iris. Wow. Well, wait. So the rhubarb has done good. These are the iris. And those are the bluebells.
Bluebells. I'm so glad I put a little fence around them. They did great this year. And then I want to show you the compost pile. So come on down.
Wow. But look at this. Look at that nice barrier.
Yeah,
it's standing there. It's just stunning.
Keeps the weeds out, you know, and kind of have something to hold the soil there too. Yeah, that worked great.
What is this plant over here? Well, this is called the Dave bush. Do you have any idea what it is?
Spirea.
Spirea?
False Spirea.
False Spirea. These have been really nice.
Those make a nice hedge. They grow like crazy and they will take over everything. You can shape them, prune them and all that. I just didn't bother, but...
Well, our next door neighbor in North Pole, Dave, he had these
yeah.
and he loved taking care of them.
He would prune them and make it look real nice.
So we stole...
Well, the best way
10,
to get a lot of good
10 of them?
plants... Oh, yeah, this whole row.
But we stole about 10 of them from him, right?
Yeah.
And this is over 5 years?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. It took a while. The first year there were these little teeny plants. Had to water them and keep them going, but once they get going, they really take off.
And what's interesting is this is all junk soil. There was we didn't really help these guys at all. This is all just gravel and silt. And years of themselves defoliating and,
Yeah.
False Spirea. I love those things. Yeah. The locust, not so good.
Those were Siberian pea bushes, and they make a nice hedge too, but not as nice as the other, not as fast as the other. So I made a new compost thing this year, and I really like it. This is my compost bucket. So these sections come apart, and then they just fit back together. So I dump my scraps, carrying my knife around.
And this is water here. You fill that with water.
Yeah, for watering the garden.
And it warms it, keeps it warm. Because the water from our well is ice cold.
When I water the carrots, they just wilt. But anyway, I'm just going back and forth from one pile to the other, so I'll scoop all this to the other side.
And you used to just have a chicken wire mesh, and it just wasn't very good, was it?
I like this better because
you can go back and forth.
I have 2 piles, and And I just, you know, everything gets turned.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn it back the other way.
And then you just put some sawdust in here, it looks like?
I added quite a bit of sawdust because I had it on hand. And you want to put some garden dirt in there too. And yeah, you can, there's a million different ways to do compost.
But basically you just go back and forth, and that's why
Yeah.
you like these removable tops.
Yep, that's why I like them in these different sections. So when a lot of this gets scooped over, I just put the other one over. And one thing that's amazing is how much it goes down throughout the year, because, you know, I've put so much stuff in here, and it does rot down, and it just goes down. It's pretty amazing.
Will you put the harvest remains from in here?
Yeah, whatever's left out of here that's pretty well digested, in the spring I'll throw on the garden. Yep.
No. I mean the stuff when we harvest, like
after,
all the leaves that we got from the cabbage over there.
right, I'll throw that in here. Yeah, at the end of the year I'll throw a lot of stuff in here.
How are these guys doing?
These peas look awesome. These are the kind that you
Shell?
shell out. So how I pick them is I kind of squeeze them and make sure they're hard inside. Like, you know, when they're pretty mature, I can feel that's pretty much ready to pick. And these are so sweet and good. They are just delicious. So I'll freeze these. Whatever Joanna doesn't eat, she was out here eating away.
It's hard to keep
They're really good though. They're really sweet. With our long hours of sunlight, the vegetables get so sweet.
Oh wow. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're kind of like...
Every year I forget how good they are. No wonder Joanna pilfers them.
Yeah, they're really good.
And our rototiller, we use that twice a year. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Twice?
we used it for the barley field this year. Pretty good though.
No, but I mean, we usually don't.
Once or
Do you
twice.
want us to? Do you want me to till it this year? Did we do it? How did we do it last year?
Well, okay, they say that you save nutrients by the less you rototill, the better.
Oh, that's right.
So we don't really
Did it
need to
once
do it in
per
fall,
year.
except for those cutworms. They say not to leave any of the cabbage and broccoli plants in the garden. It's supposed to help. So that's kind of why last year we pulled everything and we tilled. But I think I could just pull those type of plants and get them out of here. And that would
Put them in the
probably-
compost. Okay.
Yep.
You happy with it this year?
I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy.
What do you have that covered for?
This, well, I just have one piece of remay which does heat the soil. Remember that big squash or pumpkin down there? That's kind of what made that one get bigger. And this is a Denali Seed Company winter squash plant. I do know that. And I just wanted to give it a little advantage by being a little warmer under there. And I think it's working. I really like these winter squash. They're round. They're about this big. And every year I've had fruit on them. You know, it's hard to get like a good acorn squash. We just don't have the long enough growing season. But this type of squash is orange and it's hard and it's about this big. Man, they're delicious. So good. Of course, my kids don't like squash, but
I do.
for some reason I do. And this kind has always had a good amount on there, so hopefully we'll get some.
And then your sunflower seeds need to be supported better, so we put stakes on the Joannas, right? Because the heads just tipped right over.
Yeah, this one broke off, unfortunately. We had a little bit of wind and it broke it. So yeah, they need some support. Yeah, so we're getting more fruit and vegetables out of here, and everything's looking pretty good.
See you next time.